I'm not supposed to say what I'm gonna say right now, but I have to let you in on a secret. Please don't videotape what I'm going to say, okay? Turn that off, please. Know what? I don't mind. Tape it. Tommy Mottola is a devil.
So here you were, 19? Mm-hmm. Okay, and he was 20 years older, and he's interested in you romantically.
Mariah Carey came to me crying. She was crying so bad I had to hold her.
Is it true that Tommy Mottola was the first man that you went to bed with? Mm-hmm. Yeah?
He's great. I mean, he's like the best person in the world.
He believed in me. You could be as big as Michael Jackson, he would say to me.
He made you.
When Mariah married Tommy, her dream came true. But there was a catch.
Mariah, do you know that it has been written that you were a hostage in that house? Did you feel that? True or not, did you feel it? Obviously you did.
I have a record coming out.
Before meeting Tommy, Mariah was a teenager who had learned that singing could make her pain go away.
Music has always been my saving grace. It's always been what has made me feel special.
But that all changed when her big sister suddenly became interested in her.
She took me to a place that made my eyebrows beautiful. She took me shopping for my first bra. We were trying to be sisters, or so I thought.
She was a
After they went shopping, Mariah's sister dropped her off at an older man's house, a man Mariah had never met.
When we arrived, my sister handed me a little chalky ice blue pill. Here, take this, she said.
You said, I learned many things that little ones shouldn't know.
Within minutes, I was in a heavy, scary darkness, pushed down into a place beneath sleep, and I couldn't pull myself out. I don't know how long I was knocked out. I don't know why my sister drugged me. I don't know why my mother let me go with her and this man.
Mariah seemed destined to become like her family. But one day, she got a chance to get away from them.
My friend brought me to a party to meet a guy named Jerry Greenberg. These guys were all looking at me. I didn't really understand why. I was just this little teenage girl. I had borrowed her clothes. And then she walks over and she goes, this is my friend Mariah. You know, she writes all her own songs. She's this, she's that, da-da-da-da. Goes to hand Jerry the tape, and Tommy Mottola grabbed it out of his hand. So he went out, left the party. And then she told me who he was, and I said, okay, this guy's never going to listen to my tape.
Tommy Mottola, the president of Sony Music.
What Mariah didn't know was that Tommy had actually left the party to listen to her demo tape in his limo.
Tommy came back to find me, but I was gone.
And so began Tommy's quest to not only find Mariah, but to win her over.
The way it happened was very fairy tale-esque. I understand why people equate my story with the Cinderella.
Come back. Oh, please come back. I don't even know your name. How will I find you?
So here you were, 19? Mm-hmm. Okay, and he was 20 years older, and he's interested in you romantically.
This powerful man suddenly came along, parting the seas to make room for my dream.
Was he a father figure?
Probably, yeah.
In the beginning, Tommy shielded me from all the people who wanted to use me. That meant Tommy also protected me from my own family.
Mariah and Tommy got married in a lavish, celebrity-studded ceremony reminiscent of the royal wedding of Diana and Prince Charles.
I had some inkling that there was a price to pay for his protection. But at 19, I was willing to pay it.
Mariah Carey is a hoe, just like her sister.
When you have that much talent and you still gotta suck to get your demo tape approved.
I will never be a promiscuous person because I saw these things growing up.
Intoxicated.
I will never be on drugs.
Entitled.
She needs a worshiper. Somebody who's gonna worship her.
The feeling is that he made you, that it wouldn't have happened without him.
Well, I don't believe that because I know that I wouldn't have given up.
She's a lazy diva.
I love working. It's not like they have to force me, get me in the studio, you know.
As she faced backlash for marrying Tommy, Mariah became a workaholic, desperately trying to prove herself.
I have to go overboard.
But behind the scenes, Mariah's life was becoming more of a nightmare than a fairy tale.
Tommy's energy was intense, more than overbearing. His presence felt dense and oppressive. Even before he would enter the room, I could sense the air change and my breath grow short. Often I just wanted to go to the kitchen for a snack or to sit at the table and write down some lyrics. But every time, right as I would start to settle in and begin to find my breath,
hey, what are you doing?
Every move I made, everywhere I went, I was monitored minute by minute, day after day, year after year.
So tell us about the night Jermaine Dupri and Debrat came over.
We were all basically like kids that just wanted to make music, and Debrat and I escaped from the big house together. I was like, yeah, let's go for a ride, because it was normal for most people to just leave their house and go literally 5 minutes down the street to get French fries.
This is not an everyday occurrence for me.
And so?
The phone didn't stop ringing the entire time. At first we thought it was funny, and then Jermaine kept calling, and Jermaine was like, yo, you guys gotta get back here. Like, this is real. Like, you don't understand, Brad.
There are security guys with guns, and they're loading up, and they're coming to find you.
At the end of the day, she did say, this is not okay. Like, you're Mariah Carey. I thought you could do whatever you want. Like, why you can't with this? Like, you can't be in this relationship.
I never thought I would be strong enough to leave Tommy. I truly believed that I was not worthy of both happiness and success. One evening, I was working with two men I had a significant creative and professional relationship with. The atmosphere was anything but warm. He began an awkward rant about our fabulous estate, which I half-financed, and how, in spite of it all, I wanted to leave him. I was sitting still, looking down at the table when Tommy walked over and picked up the knife from the place setting in front of me. He pressed the flat side of it against my right cheek. Every muscle in my face clenched. My entire body locked in place. My lungs stiffened. Tommy held the knife there. His boys watched and didn't say a word. After what seemed like forever, he slowly dragged the thin, cool strip of metal down my burning face. That was his last show with me as the captive audience.
So 4 years after the storybook wedding, Mariah left Tommy Mottola.
You shouldn't go through your life always in fear of the next argument or the next issue or the next problem.
Mariah reconnected with her family, hoping to build a healthy relationship with them.
The sister is HIV positive, the sister who abused drugs. You help to take care of her, you support your mother.
Buying my mom a house was one of the best things I ever experienced in my life.
Meanwhile, Mariah's friend Maikel protested against Tommy, accusing him of exploiting artists for profit, being racist, and being what he called devilish.
We have to continue our drive until he's terminated.
Are you afraid? He listens to this interview and he gets mad.
He's the head of the company, so he's the one who's calling the shots, and really I would like to have a good relationship with him.
Many started to wonder if Tommy would take revenge on Mariah.
If he can make a career, he can break a career.
As Mariah doubled efforts to continue her dream without Tommy, the world witnessed a new side of her.
The effects of the stress, the demands, and the criticism were starting to show.
We're all just living in the moment of being positive, and there's like people called haters. No, Cindy, one more thing. And we give them positivity.
Please forgive me, because I'm a little bit, yeah.
The headline that said, Mariah Meltdown.
Love a headline. I'm too fatigued. I'm overly tired. I can't do it as a human being. And nobody was hearing those last two words, human being.
I just want you to know that I'm trying to understand things in life right now. And so I really don't feel that I should be doing music right now. I just can't trust anybody anymore right now because I don't understand what's going on.
As Mariah hit rock bottom, she went to the only person who could help.
You'd gone to your mother's house. You hadn't slept in 6 days.
I was an exhausted refugee, and I thought that refuge was exactly what I had found. I collapsed onto the cozy bed, surrendering to its softness. Everything quickly turned to a long-awaited dark, and I sank down into it. Finally, peace. "Mariah, what are you doing? They're looking for you." A booming, dramatic voice violently pulled me out of the pool of quiet in which I had been floating. She was waking me up to tell me that the record label was looking for me to get back to work. I shouted. No one, and especially not my mother, had ever seen me in such a rage. All the fear and fury I had bottled inside myself was now directed at my mother.
There was a power shift that was immediate. It was immediate, and she was in charge, and rather than say, "I'm here, I'm taking care of my daughter, she's tired," it was like, "Oh no, because you defied me, this is what's going to happen."
Your mother calls the police in a house that you have paid for. You're Mariah Carey, and the police come in and...
Mariah was placed in a detox facility and administered hard narcotics.
The drugs blocked me from whatever energy and will to fight I had in reserve. They made me sluggish, puffy, and compliant.
Mariah had lost control over everything.
One morning, I was in my room, feeling drowsy, when an attendant came and brought me into the common area. It was crowded with staff and patients, and all were staring up at the large television in silence. And someone from the staff tapped me on my shoulder. I was free to go.
All your life, as a very little girl, you wanted to sing and be a star. Now you sing and you're a star. What's the ultimate ambition?
To find happiness. Because I'm still looking for that, and I don't like to say that because I don't want to seem ungrateful. I know what I have, but still inside, I don't feel like there's anyone who I can trust completely.
One of the definitions of insanity is doing the same things over and over and expecting different results. My version of insanity was allowing the same thing to be done to me, over and over by the same people.
I neglected myself as a human being. At a certain point, I said, you know what? Forget this whole career at this moment because it's too much for me.
I finally got a chance to take time for me, and I learned a lesson.
No one is going to stop me or take all my power again.
Mariah cut ties with her family and started a family of her own.
I'm so grateful to have overcome so many obstacles. I am not Cinderella. My life has not been a fairy tale. Forget the image, forget the ensembles, forget the rumors. As a person, I am genuinely happy. And finally free to be who I really am. Thank you.